Well, hello and welcome back to part 10 of the Enterprise NX-01 build. We are going to start doing the AZTEC on the bottom of the saucer. So this will be part 1 of AZTEC being the bottom of the saucer. Should be really cool. Top went really well. Hopefully this will be a little smoother. I know we don't have any pieces that we have to cut or extend like we did on the top. So let's head over to the bench and take a look. Well, alright, here we go with the lower saucer. I primed her, like I said a while ago, put this piece on as well before. Already cut out with the windows and the photo etch. Then went back and sprayed it with my zinc color that I'm using for the darker AZTEC color. And then eventually it'll get sprayed over with the galvanized tin, which is my main hull color. I'll show you the top. I just sprayed that today. There she is with the galvanized tin. And I'm still just going to let it cure for a little bit longer, and then I'll start later on eventually peeling up the decals and hopefully seeing how she looks. But I'm liking it so far. But, okay, this one should be a little more straightforward, as far as at least we won't have to cut, as far as I can tell, and the instructions didn't say anything about these having to be cut to fit, or extended like the last set. So, and then I believe in this area here, I believe it's this area here, we can kind of come up with our own. He gives us a whole circle of masks, and we can pick and choose and however we want. So that's kind of cool. I'll be able to choose how I want. Also, just looking at pictures, I see that this part is darker, and then I believe this lower section here is a little darker. Yet this here, like following this panel line here, oh, get in the camera, following this panel line here, this section here is darker on both sides, and then coming up and over these pieces is darker. So we'll mask all that off. This part will be light, but then it seems like this, just as it gets over this little bump here, it's actually darker. So we'll actually mask this half and leave that darker. So, and then we'll actually take masking tape and do the same here. I'll probably have to use some of my pinstriping tape to get this circle, unless I just mask, over and then cut it, which might be a good way to do it. I wasn't sure from the pictures I'm seeing references if these were darker. The one reference I had, they look the same as what this is, but I think, and then I looked at another one, I had a better lighting on it, and these are light too, so we'll cut around those. I want to leave those lighter, kind of coming in here. So, and of course all this is lighter. Yeah. So, and then we'll do our normal, I'll make up what I want to do on these. This section here, we'll get those put there. I'll probably, like I did on the upper, I'll probably mask those off so they stay dark, those grills. Not sure about here, I was thinking maybe doing those. And then I'll just pick, maybe lay, maybe this one and this one, I'll lay something on here. Even though, this is the same shape here and here, I'll probably do the darker on here, and this one will stay light since the background is light. So, and we'll do those shapes too, mask them off. But other than that, it looks like it's pretty straightforward. So I guess there's nothing to it but to get started and just make sure which side I want to start on. Do we want to start up here or start down here? And this seems pretty simple. It looks like they pretty much, looks like these taller ones are actually going to sit centered in here in those areas. So It looks like the same for the tops. Just here, or does it ride this rim? Looks like we start from the bottom and come up and let them lay that way. That's what it looks like. Yeah, and that's what it's looking like in the reference photo. So, let's start with the top. It's quick and short. We'll do one side. I see these have some dark, but I don't know if those are decals. I'll have to look. There's some shapes here. I don't know if that's in a decal or do I make a mask for that. That way it's the same color. Yeah, that I'm not sure. I'm actually thinking those are decals, so I'll have to look at the decal set before I do a full paint. So let's start up here and see where. The interesting thing is finding where our reference line is. Where do we actually start? Because there is rays coming off here in the center, and it's in the sense of having nothing going on. So it's finding out where that is instead of trying to look across the desk here. Yeah, because there's no real panel lining except for here. But that's not giving me any real reference of where do you start. Wow. Maybe we'll start down below. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason on what this spacing is here. And here and here. Unless I take this and use that, if this is correct. I could pull this outer ring out and lay it down. Let's see if I can do that. That might give me the spacing I need. It'll be difficult because I'm going to have to pull around each one of those shapes unless they all lay down and stay down. Oh, they are. Do it on camera, you can see. Let's see if this works. And without it all clumping together. You see how there's a space there, and it'll be there and there, and same on the other side. I don't know if I can lay this down and use this as a center, just for a template. Should be interesting.
I'm going to end up sucking this in blue, but first I need to do a little hot glue to hold it in place. I like hot glue for operations like this. It's not permanent, but it holds in an orientation so I can understand it. Alright, that's it.
Especially when things want to keep sticking to you and not. This is the main thing here. gotta find.
So now I have two leads coming from this, and they both want 12 volts. So I'm going to trim them here and strip them.
And that's the problem. It keeps wanting to stick to you, and then when you're trying to get it unstuck to you, it wants to stick to the ship. This is where I want. Even if I just cut this piece. And this piece. But am I square? That's the problem. Kind of trying to follow that panel line. All these guys scrunching up and making things not lay correctly.
This is one of my actual loading jackets, so consider it muy authentico. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. At least here I can go off the center of that thing. Here I really don't have a reference. As I go off the center of that window. Let's see, how many lines are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. 3 should be ish. Center-ish. That's close enough. Here, I'm going to have to follow in between, just space it in between the two windows there. There's these two windows. And there is a center line there, but it's not giving me much. How do I do this? I'll get rid of all the rest of this without scratching stuff or cutting into things. I could probably get this under here. That.
It takes up like 4 containers, and it's always sat in kind of a mouth.
So that'll be just the guide.
And in order, it's like if I'm going to put
Of course, you don't want to cut any other time. There we go.
pieces relate to each other, and I can't just keep putting them on because I look in the mirror, etc. I need both stand. But I'm going to build the stand using the technology
I can start it right
that just
there.
happens to be.
That. Well,
But this is effectively a rubber stand. Same kind of stand I built for the student armor for English, which showed me, instructed me in many of the ways of armor making. I'm going to be building that as well.
probably if I go off this front one, the rest should follow. But this is this is probably the funkiest part. That looks pretty. I'm wondering if I'm veering a little this way on that. That's what I'm wondering. Maybe a hair, but I don't think it'll be enough for any to be noticed. That looks pretty good. This looks a little off. These little arms. They look like arms. Like a flat top Gumby. The other worry I have is, you know, but like I said, it's just gotta kind of get me to spacing. So then it looks like the rest. Yeah, there is like a grid on everything. Like once I lay this one down, how far apart do I leave the other one? Trying to see if I notice a pattern, but there is none. This one looks like it goes off of this here. Like it goes off of this one here. Oh, there's nothing to it until I see how it lays down. So here I thought it was going to be simple. Was I wrong? One thing I know is we're going off the bottom as far as the height. This out of the way now. Yeah, and those should fall like that. Okay. I guess there's no crazy big deal on how it goes. Just kind of pick a spacing and go. I guess. Just doesn't make sense. where's the other one? The other side. Yeah, it's kind of like that one's floating out there and the other one comes together. So, okay. So it's kind of showing this one going off of that. I don't know if I take this one, lay it right next to it, off of this. They look tighter together than normal. But I don't see what else I can go by because there's nothing to go by really. It's not like I lay that one off of that. No. It's off center. I'm gonna call that good. It looks fine. That gap looks a little bigger, but that's correct unless this is off, which could be. Unless that's going off the center. It looks like that foot does fall center here, so that's what I'm going to do with that. Close that gap up. Hopefully I can get this one up. At the end. This is where it gets crazy, where it gets wide again. I think that's what we'll go with. That's one thing I didn't notice right away. It looks like this center foot go off of that panel below. Yeah, that closes that up a little bit. There we go. But like this one here has no, that I can see off point. Yeah, because the center doesn't go off of anything. Although they do show it more this way, but I don't know how.
Right now, the helmet is a single piece resin that is for onyx, if I'm correct. That's a thicker virgin resin plastic. And the helmet looks great. I'm actually quite pleased with how it looks.
I mean, that I did go off of that one.
What I wanted to
To
do
follow
is make this helmet
this panel line up.
separate here and lift up.
It's almost like, do I follow that one up? And that's how I do them. But then that gets big spacing everywhere, and it's kind of like in clumps of threes, and these here have more space.
Then I'm going to need to work out how
One goes here and one goes here has space, more space on each side of it. These are closer together.
Yeah, there's something as you go with both of those functions. And then there's the interior. What this one was talking about, and I got to look at some pieces of its interior.
Let's look this up. We might be tilting in a little bit on that one. It is falling out pretty good.
Exactly what components are wood line is my component. And I got this extra pair of, well, we call sweeps. Are these arm caps?
What's the best you're going to do? I mean, you can sit there and pick around all day, but that's just... So I'm thinking now of just laying this
I think these are arm caps. I've got an old pair. Cut them up. Use them
like that.
And also the stroking aspect of all 26, which is clearly from the same curve. So, internal structure, external structure, magnets, closure.
This next one.
It occurs to me, might be wondering why I'm wearing the 99th Infantry Division World War II Army jacket, and it's only because I came across one on an auction site that's in my size for a real 38 regular, and it looks like a glove. That's the only explanation I have. Where we start is you gotta cut it in half.
Come on, guys.
Then I'm gonna give I think, the back just a little bit of a lip, and I'm gonna use some magnets to hold this together. And then I'm probably gonna cut out this entire length over here. Cut that out and remake a yellow black plastic so that I can embed energy.
I'll just keep these for the other side. Yeah, there's no. Alright, this one. So that. So they're saying that. This center of what's riding here. That would not make sense. So I'm not even going to go by that. The only worry I have is it going to look funky all the way around. But that fit that wedge right, so. Looks like this one center's falling into this panel. Let's see if it does that and looks right. I doubt it, because the other one's not falling right, or according to that.
It's got this blade out here.
We'll make it work. We'll try it. Yeah, that's not bad. They should be tilting inward, I would think. That's this off. Do it by, I know whereabouts it should be. If you guys would all fall at the same time, you'd make life a lot
That
easier.
is where I first learned about it. So I immediately went involved and I kept reading about it. It's not because I needed 3 days.
The static part drives me nuts. You can't, like, yeah, that's my bad. You can't get things positioned or just statics itself down. It's definitely not going to be perfect. I don't know how to make it more useful. And I have a feeling when I put this one down, it's really going to bother me. And there's nothing to, you know, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just because there's no grid line on the ship at all. That these are falling. The only grid line that these are falling is where these arms lay. Yeah, see, there's a massive space there. So something's off. Yeah, I probably shouldn't stick that down until I figure that. Something is off. Oh, see, I always eat my words and think something's going to be simpler. It should be simple. It should be not that complicated. Or I wish these were like orbital dry docks where you put a whole sheet down and you peel them up and everything's down in the right spot instead of placing things. We got to pick our own thing. That's what it is.
Now I could make this.
I'm believing that this one stays center. I'm believing that this, then it shows this next one kind of comes off of this. Then I could, you know, I guess kind of use this inner leg on that one, even though it doesn't look like that's what's going on.
Sorry, I'm aware that it's important to be aware that like for any kind of thing like Iron Man's helmet, there's going to be like 10 different versions. It's going to be the one that's on the big one.
Right, that.
It's going to be one that Robert Downey wears. It's going to be
But it's
one
showing it.
shot in which the helmet comes up. It's going to be one for a shot where it goes down. It's square. It's going to be like the big ones.
There's nothing to choose from
I
there.
did notice that Downey
It looks like this has got to move.
seems to be almost like a skull, which is not realistic for being able to hold or for
Let's see something here. Oh yeah, see, I can't go by that because that's way down. I gotta kind of judge. The other thing I can say is, let's place this one. Is there any, does this one fall like center leg anywhere? The left of that center leg falls there. I think I might even do away with this. I'm going to start this way and bring this one this way. I think that's the only way to go, because these kind of give you a point, I think. I don't know if this one's going to work.
This is about a 16th of an inch. This is the same exact thickness. And this is what I'm going to over the top.
It's about the same as that. You need to come up, it looks like. We'll get this, folks. I could probably do away with not worrying about that, but
So I just smoothed this out a little bit to remove whatever visual evidence.
it's that arm going down too early. Like I said, those boys will want to warp your shapes. There we go. That's better. I'm starting to like that. Wish this image was better. Like I can't see these windows, so I can't judge. But that looks good. That looks pretty good. I think once all busy and done, but it still seems like there's a bigger gap here than here. This one we went off the inner leg going off of this panel. What's the next one do? It kind of goes off of. That can't be. That's no way. If this inner leg is going off of here, there's no way this one's going here. Because then that's way too close. That's what's confusing me. This here looks like this is going off of that. This part here should go here. It also doesn't make sense because you think we would make both of these do that. Maybe we can come up with some logic here. But see, they show that one in the center of the panel. But I'm really wondering, and then they show this one on the edge, which works on this side. And they show this one riding up that. But then they show this one on that. I'm just going to do it that way and see how it looks. Uh-oh. I got paint peelage. Awesome. You're great.
first steps I took. Oh, sorry. Again, I want to talk about bending metal.
Are you kidding me? This is not what I wanted. And it just keeps going. It won't let go. Oh, we gotta touch that up before we do anything else. Must have been something funky there. And trying to stop it from going further than it did. Work that guy. Yep. Awesome. Good stuff. Just the way my something going on right there. The thing I'm afraid of is that did it do it here? Is it going to continue? Well, I'm not going to bore you with the fix. So, yeah, there must have been either a contamination or something, because it is just, something happened there. Because it's just loose. And then I get to hard spots where it doesn't want to scrape. There was an oil, like I might have touched it there, like doing that. It's an easy fix. Not what you want to happen in the middle of your AZTEC-ing. So all I have to do is airbrush that little spot, seal it again, and wait. We can just, while that's drying, I can move on to something else.
So what I've got is a little bit of resin bubbling up right here. So
Maybe doing the bottom. Yeah, that one got misshaped. Or no, that one is not the one that got misshaped. But I'm glad I tried to move that, because it really made me mad after already getting the main hull color down. Let's see if I can feel anything else. No, it's it just must have been like an oil or something there, or like I said, for my finger or something. I can scrape everywhere else and it's not coming up. It happens, but that's a simple fix, because this is a thin coat. And I gotta keep trucking on figuring out how this looks. But now I can't. Unless I do this side. And try to figure out how this is gonna look. Maybe we'll do that quick. Because this has got me kind of not frustrated right now. On why how this lays. And like I said, the picture's hard, and which I understand. You can't really go off even reference photos. Well, and they even still have something going on here. So, look at a different photo. I think it's one of those things where I'm going to kind of just do my thing. Yeah, see, now this guy's doing the same thing all the way around. Different pattern though.
Now, we're going to do a little bit bending on this one.
I'm just going to come up with my own thing and find a thing that I like. Because the ship's panels are the same, so I should be able to come up with something here. And I'm wondering, these are all the same.
Put a real gentle bend right there.
So if I put each one of these, see where this one lays. If I do that. Hope and pray we don't have any more paint peel. But yeah, there was contamination under there. That's something I did. I just hope that doesn't. Well, I peeled up things many times on the upper saucer, so I probably would have known by now. I mean, sometimes it's good to lay these on your finger a few times. But I'm wondering if I do something like this. It's not like there's any decals from the kit going there. I don't believe. These bent up again, so they all fall down at the same time. I'm wondering if I take now you gotta fall down at the same time. But not stick prior to where I want it. Lift this one up so it falls where I want it. I'm wondering if I do something like this. If I put you here and use that line to follow that line. And then use this whole inner edge to follow that one. And then this one, I could always leave where it's at. And then this one, use this inner line to follow that. And will I be able to do the same here? This one here. And really, see, here's where it gets killer. This doesn't. These aren't cut the same. This one's bigger. So it's almost like you gotta pretend there's a panel line here. And if I went, this one and this one. See here, I went this here. I don't think that falls. Oh yeah, it does. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. yeah, I'd have to move. No, that would move that in. That's a shame because I really want to know. Well, let's try the other side. Let's try it on the other side. Let's try. This is the back one. Killer is going to be having to get the clear there. That's why I'm kind of wondering. I can have a little sealer on here. It just needs a shot. So this. Far down. And you know, I'm probably being a little anal about it, but those aren't falling quite right either. Like, these arms are not up. I'm wondering if I'm just too far down off them. Not up high enough on the panel. I don't like I like when the blade's more square to the, there you go. Gives me more control. Right now, I'm not gonna press them down. And I was thinking, what on this one? Fall in this line here, full right of it. So far, I like that. It doesn't look overly spaced like on the picture, but that can't be. Now the very last one, I could ride the center, ride this middle leg. If it's right of that middle leg, and let's see how it falls. As long as I get a good scuff here and good scuff all in this area. I think so. Just want to make sure there's no more loose paint. Some sandpaper too. we can't go off to the right, so let's go off the left. Now that seems more like it. I have the bigger space here, and then all right. Well, we fixed that issue with the peel up here, and I got the pieces back down. Found something that works for up there. It's pretty much just kind of figuring out myself, because it had complete liberty of how you want to do it. I could have spaced each one of them out equally, but I found a grid pattern that I could start with and work with, and just kind of went with that. Ringing these two with the panel line here, and then just kind of set them across. Use this panel line here for the outside of this one, and use the panel line that comes up all the way through for the inside of this leg, and kind of did the same on each, and it gave us the equal distances that I wanted, and and that seems to work for me. But yeah, we got that fixed, and now I've just been messing with this ring here, because he just gives you a couple squares to pick and choose how you want to put them. So I kind of came up with it almost like a checkerboard kind of thing going on, and use some small ones in here, and because he gives you basically a ring with different sizes, and they kind of fit that contour. So I just did the one side of it, and we'll get this other side here going. These I had to trim because they were a lot longer, so but it's working out good. So I think that'll work. I think that will do it. Oh, and for an update on the top of the saucer, I believe is all done. I peeled off the masks. They came out really good. Started doing some other painting before I put a full clear over the what is it, a galvanized tin, or I believe it is. I believe this is a galvanized tin, the main hull color. But yeah, as you can see, the AZTEC came out really good. So I really like it, and I really like what I did on these sections here. But what I started doing is painting the lower part of the bridge. That I'm using a regular bronze. Did the regular bronze on that piece there. Get my light up higher here. I don't know if you can see it now, but did the regular bronze on those grills there, and put some antique bronze on that piece there. And then the antique will be on the upper section of in the dome of the bridge. So I figured I'd have a contrast, a regular bronze and then antique bronze, which has got a lot of a goldish color to it. I don't know if that shows up, but what else did we paint? Oh, and painted these outer areas here where the nav and strobes are. I used a gun steel for that, and then painted the actual where the light beacons are, painted that anniversary silver. So, and I believe that's all that's got to get painted on this, besides pieces that go in. So, but now it's looking really good. So, very happy with how that came out. How, especially that there that I made up. I don't know if I can get in the right light because everything's glary and shiny. So it's hard to get it to show, but so far I am extremely happy with it. I'm happy with doing those pieces down there like that. So, but let's get back to AZTECing the lower section so we can eventually clear both of these. And oh, and just I'll go show you this while I'm here. On the engine, I actually did the gun steel there. I did the gun steel here to give it that darker ring, and it was nice because it kind of settles into the cracks and leaves a little bit of the shininess on the outer rim, and I kind of liking that. I was thinking about putting another coat. The more coats I put on there, the more it sticks and covers, but I kind of like that. It's subtle. So, and then I did the regular bronze on these back sections here. So that's looking good. Now I'm thinking about doing something for a ring here. There's these almost like two plates that kind of go up that are, you know, higher than the rest, and I might do in the lower section between these two plates. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this color here, that's the darker color for the AZTECing, or I might go with the gun steel. I'm not sure yet, so I'm just holding off on that until I decide what I want to use. Kind of liking the gun steel, but I might pull a little bit of this color up into here because I'm not doing any AZTECing on the engines because, you know, I'd sit here and have to make all these patterns. I've seen a lot of people do the stripes here, so I can always do that too. Just to, you know, add something there, do those stripes there. But that's looking good too. I still gotta finish the other engine. The other engine's sanded and ready to go. You know, got it all sanded, putty's done. Might take one more look about putting canopy glue down in that seam. Might need another application just to make sure it's level in there. Yeah, I'm thinking so. So I'll hold off on that. Let's see how the seam is on this one. I want them to look similar. And this, yeah, that seam on that one's really good. So I might put another application in there. Sometimes it takes a few, especially when you're using it to build up stuff, you know. Alright, let's get to the task at hand here and start finishing, keep trucking along since I had, oh, and I had another peel up boo-boo here. So, I had to go through and fix that, but everything's back to where it should be. Fix that boo-boo, because I went to move this piece because I didn't like how it was. I did have it, I didn't cut it, and I was going to let it extend into this one because it would come almost all the way to here, and when I went to peel it up, so I think there's something up with that primer that I used too. Not very happy with how that primer is. It works for a good light block, like I used it for the black here, but it seems not to be reacting very well with the acrylic paint. So I don't think it has enough, it's, you know, it doesn't have enough bite to it or something. So I made sure I got a good clear down on the rest of the, to help, hopefully help all that out. But alright, let's see where we're at. We gotta find these pieces and then we can get down to this lower section. Well, let's get this one on. This is a simple one. I'm also going to mask this because I noticed on the picture it's dark. It follows this panel line and goes down. I don't think it goes all the way down. No, it just goes down to this panel line. and comes across. And I think I might leave these high pieces still. So I'm gonna have to do a tape with that. Tape that off, and I'll tape around those. I'll tape around these. But this section here, it goes even up on this high section here. I'm gonna do the dark, leave it, mask all that off for that. But this kind of just rides at that line, and then you kind of I got a little more over. Let me get on here.
Alright, I want to see how this does with the running part. The hopping part.
I try to line the top to, what I'm trying to do is line this top, the split in between there. It's kind of, the mask is kind of at an angle, so you got to kind of cheat it more this way so it lays that way in the center. That works good. Now, it should start here, and we'll follow the same pattern. So, and these two here have to get cut. So the best way I did it was like that. Looks like I might have got a, I don't know, it's falling alright. Just kind of push it in that corner. And then with a sharp razor blade, just a couple light passes. Should cut it. Should. There we go. And we'll do the same with the bottom one. What I was doing is like 2, then 1. And I did the 1 in the center, and then 2, and 1. And then it gets a little different here, where you can't get 2 because there's only 2 panels, so I just did the 1, and then did this light, this area here. So, and I kind of like that because it leaves this section here open. It kind of follows that line down to, kind of like they have it at the top. But let's get this guy down. I'm rambling here. Let's get to work. Just get my toothpick again. Is it still in here? Yeah. It's much better to push down with a toothpick than a blade. Do the same thing. Oh, always at the ends because I don't want to go flying off and still here. I'm hanging on for dealer life. There you go. I could use those. I always save those pieces. I stick them back down. Figure I find out something use out of them. If not, then oh well. That one's a little high off this corner here. I'm getting a little worried because this is where things went wrong last time. Come on. There we go. I like that better. Alright. single one. Oh, that's right. Sometimes some of these are a little higher. You know, I want to keep this little. There's a little ridge or a lip to this panel that comes over the top. It's almost like it's laying over top of the one. You know, it's coming down and laying over top of it. And I want to leave that there. And the way he has them is there's 3, 1, 2, 3. But sometimes I find the smaller one up top works better, because I want to leave that lip. And I think that's what I was using tops for the single center one, because it gives me that. Where you still have that, it leaves that lip there. I gotta bring it down a little more.
The thing is about this chrome is that it's so bright, it's actually hiding behind, like even its own brush.
There we go. Now we do the double. And I guess you could get erratic and just have however you wanted. It doesn't matter. There's no real rhyme or reason in looking at pictures. They're really showing all kinds of different shades going on. But since I'm just doing it, you know, really I think this ship is at least as far as the squares that are all over it. Because like I see these patterns, but then I see like other little shades like this and that are different shades. So really this would be a, even the instructions I think show it as a 3 shaded, you know, aluminum, steel, and gunmetal. I think it's what they said to use. So yeah, and this one will be not as big. It won't fit panel to panel. I'm not sure why that is, but it is. So that's okay. That gives a little bit of a weird, you know, weirdness to it, so that I'm all following the panels. So, and then this one will be short too. We kind of just like what I did. So I tried to since they're doing this, I'm trying to follow like that grid line of the mask itself. Actually, it looks like it can go over just a hair because it is a bigger panel, so it would be over a hair more. Kind of lay it down, make sure this doesn't stick to that, and then crease it in there. Works. And then take the old trusty razor blade, and I guess you could leave that flapping over there, but I kind of want to not. I don't want it to be considered part of that. And I'll save that triangle because that could work for something. There, we got the back half. Besides doing the masking back here. Now we do a single here, I believe, which is wider than the. I wonder if I could find one that'll fit. That's a good question because I did do that back there. I wonder if there's a leftover top one that fits there. It had to be pretty small. There might be. Let's look at this one. Actually, let's look at that. Let's see that. Because I'll change it out on this side too. No, that's the same. And actually that's from the middle section. But there is this one here left over. That makes more sense. Because this one's kind of overlapping. There it is. I have another one. Oh, but it laid back down. But I do have to hit that with something real quick. But what we'll do is we'll use I know what that is. I had some heavy edges because this was, I think, one of the. See, I got to worry about all those edges then. All those. I might go through and hit another clear across all this. This should still work on this side. Yep. That works beautifully. Yeah, all these heavy edges are worrying me because the paint was real runny. Was this the first thing I sprayed? Maybe not. I'm using my big air gun. It's new, so I think it was the first thing I sprayed. And you know how it runs and it wants to come down here and it gives you fatty edges, but the good thing about the acrylic, it levels out. You see a little bit of something, but once it gets clears over it, it doesn't. But it might be thick enough that it's the sealer didn't get all the way down in it. So I think I'm going to take a second and hit that with the sealer again to make sure, because that could be it too. I'm worried about all kinds of spots doing that because there's several of them with pieces on it. Let's see if this lifts up. If it's going to lift paint up. I'm just going to have to peel really slow, which you should do in the first place, but still. I think that might be what the issue is. So I'm going to come back, do that. It's a fast drying sealer, so it won't take long. So I'll be right back.